HOA Karen graffiti gym wall. Again, fined $100 and repainted it. The spray paint hissed like a venomous snake, and Karen's smug grin gleamed under the streetlights as she defaced the community gym's pristine wall with neon scrawls. HO rules suck by dawn. The neighborhood was buzzing, not with admiration, but with rage. Karen, the self-appointed queen of the Pinewood Estates HOA, had struck again. And this time, her vandalism wasn't just a petty nuisance, it was a declaration of war. The gym, a modest but cherished hub for Pinewood's residents, was more than a place to lift weights. It was where single mom Alicia toned her arms after grueling shifts at the hospital, where retiree Mr. Chen practiced Tai Chi to ease his arthritis, and where teens like Jamal found refuge from the streets. Built with years of fundraising and volunteer sweat, its clean white walls symbolized the community's pride. Karen, however, saw it as a personal affront. She'd been lobbying to shut it down for months, claiming it lowered property values and attracted undesirables. Her petitions failed, her complaints were ignored, and her influence waned. So she turned to spray paint, leaving her mark in a tantrum that would cost her far more than she imagined. Alicia was the first to spot the graffiti that morning. Her heart sank as she approached the gym, her gym bag slung over her shoulder. The wall, once a beacon of hope, was now a garish mess of pinks and greens, with Karen's signature phrase smeared across it. "She's gone too far," Alicia muttered, her exhaustion giving way to fury. She wasn't alone. By 8 a.m., a crowd had gathered: neighbors, gym regulars, even kids on bikes. Whispers turned to shouts. "Karen's lost it. Who does she think she is?" The air crackled with indignation, but Karen was nowhere to be seen. She was at home, sipping coffee, oblivious to the storm she'd unleashed. The tension had been building for months. Karen, a 52-year-old realtor with a penchant for power, had ruled Pinewood's HOA with an iron fist. She enforced rules with zeal, fining people for untrimmed hedges, reporting suspicious cars, even demanding that Mrs. Lopez repaint her mailbox because its shade of blue was too vibrant. But the gym was her obsession. She'd storm into HOA meetings, clutching her clipboard, ranting about noise, loitering, and riffraff. When the board rejected her proposal to convert the gym into a private clubhouse for select residents, her resentment festered. She started small, anonymous complaints, flyers decrying the gym's eyesore status. Then came the first graffiti incident, a single word: trash, spray painted in black. The community cleaned it up, assuming it was kids, but Karen's ego couldn't let it go. Enter Marcus, a quiet newcomer to Pinewood, a former private investigator turned yoga instructor. He'd moved to the neighborhood seeking peace after a messy divorce. Marcus had a knack for noticing details others missed, and he'd been watching Karen. At first, he found her antics amusing: her loud phone calls about standards, her habit of peering into neighbors' yards. But when he saw the gym's defaced wall, something clicked. The paint cans, the phrasing, the timing, it all pointed to Karen. Marcus didn't confront her directly. Instead, he started asking questions, talking to neighbors, piecing together her pattern. He noticed her car parked near the gym at odd hours, spotted paint flecks on her driveway, and overheard her muttering about teaching them a lesson. Marcus wasn't one for drama, but he couldn't stand bullies. He decided to act. The conflict escalated when Alicia, fed up with Karen's antics, rallied the gym regulars to confront the HOA. They demanded answers at the next meeting, where Karen sat at the head of the table, her smile as sharp as a blade. "Graffiti is a police matter," she said coolly, deflecting blame. Perhaps if the gym weren't such a magnet for trouble, this wouldn't happen. The room erupted. Jamal, a 17-year-old who'd found purpose in the gym's boxing classes, stood up. "You're the trouble." "Karen, everyone knows it's you." Gasps followed. Karen's face reddened, but she doubled down. "Accusations without proof are slander," she snapped, slamming her gavel. But Marcus, leaning against the back wall, raised an eyebrow. He'd been recording her rants, collecting photos of her car near the gym, and even found a receipt for neon spray paint in her trash. He didn't speak yet. He knew timing was everything. The twist came unexpectedly from an unlikely source. Mrs. Lopez, the 70-year-old widow Karen had harassed over her mailbox. Mrs. Lopez, usually soft-spoken, had been quietly documenting Karen's behavior for years, not out of spite, but because she'd grown up in a neighborhood where bullies like Karen thrived unchecked. She'd kept a journal, dates, times, Karen's snide comments, even photos of her lurking near the gym. When Marcus approached her, she handed over her notebook, her hands trembling but her eyes fierce. "She thinks she's untouchable," Mrs. Lopez whispered. "Show her she's not." Marcus combined her evidence with his own, and the case against Karen grew airtight. The neighborhood wasn't just angry, now they were organized. The climax hit on a humid Saturday morning, when Karen's second graffiti attack was discovered. This time, she'd gone all out. The entire gym wall was a chaotic smear of insults. "Losers! Shut it down! Ho rules!" in glaring neon. The paint had dripped onto the sidewalk, staining the concrete, and several cans lay abandoned in the bushes. The crowd that gathered was larger, angrier, and ready for justice. Alicia, Marcus, and Jamal led the charge, presenting their evidence to the HOA board and the local police, who'd been called after the first incident. Karen arrived, summoned by a neighbor's text, and walked into a trap. She tried to play innocent, her voice dripping with faux concern. "This is outrageous. I'm a victim of harassment." But Marcus stepped forward, calm but unrelenting, and laid out the proof photos, receipts, Mrs. Lopez's journal, even security footage from a nearby shop showing Karen's car at 2 a.m. The confrontation was electric. Alicia's voice shook as she pointed to the wall. "This gym saved my life. Karen, it's where I feel strong, where my kids feel safe, and you trashed it because you didn't get your way." Jamal chimed in, his fists clenched. "You call us riffraff, but you're the one acting like a thug." Karen's composure cracked. She screamed about her rights, her authority, but the crowd drowned her out. The police officer, a no-nonsense woman named Officer Ruiz, reviewed the evidence and issued a citation on the spot. Vandalism, destruction of property, and a fine that made Karen's jaw drop $100,000 to cover damages, cleanup, and legal fees. The crowd cheered, but Marcus raised a hand. "She's not done," he said quietly. "She's going to fix this." The aftermath was poetic. The court didn't just fine Karen, they ordered her to repaint the gym herself, under supervision, as part of her community service. The neighborhood turned it into an event. On a sunny weekend, Karen stood in overalls, paint roller in hand, scrubbing her own graffiti under the watchful eyes of Alicia, Jamal, and Mrs. Lopez. Kids rode by on bikes, snapping photos. Mr. Chen brought lemonade, turning the scene into a block party. Karen's face burned with humiliation as she painted over her own words, the neon insults vanishing under fresh white coats. The gym wall gleamed again, but Karen's reputation was in tatters. Her HOA presidency was revoked, her real estate business tanked, and whispers followed her everywhere. The community, meanwhile, grew stronger. Alicia started a mural project for the gym, with Jamal and Mrs. Lopez leading the design. Marcus taught free yoga classes, and the gym became a symbol of resilience. As the sun set on the newly painted wall, Alicia addressed the crowd. "This isn't just about a wall," she said. "It's about standing up to people who think they can bully us into silence. We won because we stuck together." She paused, her eyes scanning the faces around her. "What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved? Should we forgive her, or keep holding her accountable? Share your thoughts. Let's keep this conversation going." The gym stood proud, its wall a blank canvas for new beginnings. Karen, for once, had nothing to say.